So it is time for this week's special feature. And it's amazing, every week some kind of theme emerges, and I speak about that for a little bit to see if that spurs any ideas, creates any new ideas or possibilities or shifts, inspires any new questions. And two topics came up this week, job costing and scaling. And since I already answered a question about job costing, let's go with scaling. This topic came up often this week, so I feel moved to speak about it. There are a lot of shades to this. You know, there's always, should I scale? As a nonprofit leader, as a small business owner, should I be scaling or should I keep on keeping on? And there's a lot of pressure to do one or the other, depending on who you circulate with. I mean, who is in your circles? It always seems like there's a great deal of pressure to do one or the other. And I want you to be aware of that first and foremost, but there's not a right answer. What I encourage you to do is consider first, what do you want for your life? What do you want for, and I don't mean the day-to-day, because whatever end goal you have, you can create a day-to-day that's consistent with your end goal. But what kind of impact do you want to make on the world? How do you want to see the world changed, a little bit or a lot, when your time in it is done? And if you have a goal to make a profound difference in the world, then scale. If your goal is narrower in scope and deeper, then maybe keep on keeping on and do what it takes to make sure your organization is, yes, responding to the marketplace, whether it's donors, grantors, customers, clients, patients. Pay attention to what the market is doing, or else you'll find yourself not staying abreast of things, but actually falling behind, which you don't want to do. Hey, Nilofer, we're talking about scaling. Should we or should we not? And take actions accordingly. You don't have to scale, and you don't have to hold steady, but be aware of the difference you want to make in the world, and then decide, well, which model of operating my professional life is consistent with that. Never mind the how. Don't let the how get in the way of the why, because I promise you, whatever why you pick and whatever what you pick as a result of that, how is possible. Don't let the how drive anything else. So once you've decided if I want to scale or if I don't want to scale, if you've decided to scale, well, how? So there's no big picture answer for everybody on that one, but I will say this. Scaling doesn't have to be risky. It can be if you either skip steps, don't think creatively, or if you want to take some big risks to see if they're going to pay off. You know, if you want to get a loan, a significant bank loan, in order to scale, then that's one way you can play this. It's not the only way to do it. There's bank financing, there's equity financing, there's crowdfunding, there's increased fundraising, individual, corporate, sponsorships, grants, different types of grants, right? Also, there's doing deeper mining of the resources that you currently have. And there are ways to play with risk that mean that you can scale without necessarily doing a significant cash outlay. Of course, this is easier if you're in a service-based organization or have a service-based model. Easier than that than if you're in a product-based business. But by the same token, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I want to sell this product, but I don't have the money. Hey, Vanessa, but I don't have the money to buy the product. How can I sell it? Well, I know exactly what I'm going to do, but I don't have the money to develop the product. How am I going to sell it? There are always creative ways to do that. Like pre-sales. Yes. Do you think when you see a beautiful image of a brand new product and it's exciting and it's pre-sold and it's going to be sold in January and it's the previous July and people are already buying it? Do you think it exists at that point? No! They're using your upfront money to go and develop this thing, to pay for the labor and materials to do it. Yes, it's a big risk, but you don't have to be limited from scaling for lack of cash. There are a lot of different creative ways to do so. If you're in a service-based business, consider all the money and time that you've spent to get to this point in which you and your team, if you have one, have developed this expertise. You can start providing your services in a way that's scalable. And let me tell you, and this is my last piece on scaling for now, if you have made the decision to scale your organization, I promise you, the way that you see every day is profoundly different. Your calendar will begin to change. If you have colors on your calendar for different areas of your organization, top line, bottom line, admin, whatever, you're going to see those colors shift on a weekly basis. It's profoundly different. Back when my company first started, Tier 1 Services, I didn't have it in mind to scale at all. So my calendar was largely blue, which is the color of my working blocks, which are billable. If I don't have it in mind to scale, I'm going to do a lot of billable work and some sales and some marketing and some admin, but mostly billable. These days, there's a lot more red and yellow on my calendar. Red is admin, yellow is sales, because we're scaling. As of the time of this recording, we have 7 employees over the spectrum of CFO, controller, director of finance, bookkeeper, process engineer. We have all of these roles. Every time I do something, I'm thinking, how can I make this so I don't need to do it anymore? So I can pass off this amazing opportunity to someone else and I can continue my journey into leadership. I record what I do. I document what I do. I focus on recruiting. That's red, right? Admin. I focus on sales and teaching sales to my sales team. So what your calendar looks like will shift. Let it shift, because you're not going to get to a future that has a larger and broader impact if your calendar looks the same way it did a year ago. So that's what I wanted to share with you today regarding scaling. And I would love your thoughts. I was thinking of scaling, but I realized, you know what, I want to hold steady and just stay tuned to what the market's doing. Fine. I got so much pressure to hold steady and hold my feet above water that I just wasn't listening to my inner desires to scale. And now I get it. I can scale. Share that with me. Share that with me. I'd love to hear it.